Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Shri Arunachalam. Shri Arunachalam. Shri Arunachalam. Good morning and Hari Om to all the devotees around the world. Greetings from Tiruvannamalai. Today, we are going to take up a question from Miss Kanupriya. She is part of our youth group and she is a MBA student residing in Bangalore. Her first question: Swamiji, what could be the most important realization that one must possess while transitioning from Brahmacharya ashrama to Grihastha ashrama? This is her question. Basically, she is inquiring what are all the duties of a householder. Kanupriya, you have asked a beautiful question, a very appropriate question for the youngsters like you who are in this stage of transition. Very glad that you asked. Till now, you could have been not taking life seriously, playful and carefree. But when you enter into Grihastha ashrama, it is a different ball game altogether. You are entering into a lifelong commitment and getting ready for taking serious responsibilities. This you must realize. No more you are an individual. You are in fact going to become an integral part of your husband's family. I repeat, no more you are an individual. You are in fact going to become an integral part of your husband's family. This is our tradition. I shall share with you whatever our Sanatana Dharma and our great masters have indicated as Grihastha ashrama Dharma. Our saint poet Thiruvalluvar has said, Anbum aranum udaithayin ilvaalkai panbum payanum adu. Anbum aranum udaithayin ilvaalkai panbum payanum adu. Meaning, Anbu, the love, Aran, Dharma. Love and Dharma are the cornerstones of the Grihastha ashrama life. That is Illaram. It should be based on the love for your husband and the entire family where you are going to get integrated and become one. Not just your husband, his entire family is yours. I want you to get this correct. Not just your husband, his entire family is yours. If there is love, genuine and unconditional, everything is taken care. Everything becomes auspicious. If not, nothing will work. Therefore, please understand, love and Dharma are the cornerstones of the Grihastha ashrama. In our culture, the wife is looked not just as a wife, but she is called as Sahadharmacharini, meaning one who helps the husband to fulfill all his dharmic duties. Even in Ramayana, when King Janaka, while introducing Sita to Rama, said, Iyam Sita Mama Sutta Sahadharmachari Tava. What he said? Iyam Sita Mama Suta Sahadharmachari Tava. Janaka said, O Rama, this is my daughter Sita. From now on, she will be your Sahadharmacharini, meaning one who helps you to fulfill all your dharmic duties. Please accept her. Therefore, your life should be based on dharma, not your mind's whims and fancies. For that, you should first of all know what is your dharma. Number 1. You and your husband should earn wealth through dharmic means and plan your life in such a way that you live within your means. Simple life and high thinking should be your motto. You should realize tripti, contentment, is the real wealth. If you don't have tripti, contentment, howsoever you earn, you always feel unhappy, dissatisfied. And always you remain a beggar. Therefore, please realize tripti, contentment, is the real wealth. Number 2, you can enjoy the pleasures of the senses, but through proper means and with self-restraint. Progeny is the purpose of wedlock, not lust, asserted our ancient masters. Number 3, as a grihastha, you can never afford to become selfish or greedy. Please note this point carefully. As a grihastha, you can never afford to become selfish or greedy. Your dharma is to take care of the elders in the family, especially your in-laws, because that is the foremost dharma of your husband. As a Sahadharmacharini, you have to help him to fulfill his duties. And this is his paramount duty. And you should be of support to your parents too. Other than that, you have to help the needy and poor in your relatives and friend circle, and benevolent towards sadhu sants too. Please remember, a householder is one who has to take care of all the other 3 ashrama, the brahmacharis, the vanaprasthis, and the sannyasis. So, you have got a great responsibility. Number 4, you have an important role in upholding the family tradition and passing on the tradition and Bharatiya culture to the next generation. You have to be a role model for your children and imbibe in them true cultural and spiritual values. This only you can and you must. Please remember, all the great personalities have said they have learned all the great values from their mothers. Therefore, you have the great responsibility of passing on the Bharatiya culture to your children. Number 5, you and your husband must support good social causes and strive to promote Astirga Margam, meaning faith and worship of the Lord in the society. This only can bring in peace, prosperity, and harmony in the society. And number 6, you should never forget that moksha or liberation is the goal of your life. You have to use the grihastha as stepping stone for uplifting yourself spiritually. This is possible if you allocate some time every day for prayer and meditation and seek the company of good through satsanga. Satsanga should be the first priority in your life. Satsangatve Nisangatvam. Nisangatve Nirmohatvam. Nirmohatve Nischalatatvam. Nischalatatve Jivan Mukti, says Adi Shankara. Therefore, Satsanga alone can take us to the liberation, Jivan Mukti. Grihastha is there to prepare yourself for Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. Therefore, Grihastha is not just to enjoy life. It is there to prepare yourself for Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. This you should realize. When two people are coming together means two egos are coming together. When two egos come together, there is always an ego clash. Ego clash leads to disruption, disharmony. There cannot be any peace or happiness. Giving up ego is spiritual sadhana. Please remember, giving up ego is real spiritual sadhana. Paniya paniya pavamagalum, says a great saint, Sri Yoga Swamigal. Meaning, more humble you are, more sinless you become. Paniya paniya pavamagalum. Therefore, always be ready to give up your likes and dislikes, your comforts, your ways of doing things, even though you think that is the only way. Adjust and adopt. Give in. Sacrifice. That is the way to become spiritually evolved. Therefore, this Grihastha is a stepping stone for you to evolve spiritually. This can happen only when you are ready to give up your likes and dislikes, your comforts, and adjust and adopt and sacrifice. Always in life, count the blessings and be cheerful. Don't forget the Lord. Hold on to His feet. Just be. So in short, these are the Grihastha dharmas which you have to follow. So therefore, number one, you have to earn wealth through dharmic means, and you have to live within your means. And you should develop tripti, contentment within yourself. While indulging in pleasure, you can indulge, but with dharmic means and proper restraint. You have the responsibility to take care of the elders and also to help the needy and poor in your family circle, and also to take care of the sadhusans. And then you have the duty to pass on this Bharatiya culture and tradition to the next generation, that is, to your children and grandchildren. And you and your husband must support social causes, especially to promote Astika Margam. And please remember, Grihastha is to prepare yourself for the higher, for the moksha. Therefore, you have to allocate some time for prayer and meditation every day, and you have to seek the company of the good through satsanga. So therefore, in general, this is your dharma. Now, moving on to the second question. Swamiji, how can one balance the spiritual inclination while being surrounded by people who are not aware of spirituality and its potential? This is also another beautiful question. When you are inclined spiritually and appreciate the need to evolve spiritually through sadhana, and if people around you, like your parents or your life partner, are not aware or supportive, life becomes tough only. But you know there is a saying, When going gets tough, the tough gets going. This is a beautiful saying. When going gets tough, the tough gets going. Meaning, more the obstacles, more should be your inspiration, determination to follow this path. Because this will only lead to the ultimate good called Shreyas or liberation. You need not exhibit or advertise your spiritual inclination or spiritual pursuits to the world. Keep it to yourself. Let it be deep within you. It is between you and your Lord. Lord knows it. He will show you the path. Most of the time, people feel insecure and awkward when we follow something which they are unable to understand or appreciate. We should reassure them that we are very normal and following this path as per the guidance of the great masters to lift ourselves and not for anything else. I tell you, people are very insecure. We have to help them to come out of their insecurity. We need not fight or quarrel with our near and dear ones over it. Let us try to explain and convince them gently. If they are very unreasonable or obstructive, we have to quietly but firmly assert ourselves and not compromise, because everybody has right to follow their heart. Ultimately, we have to surrender to the Lord and He will take care of everything. Are you happy about this answer? Now moving on to the third question and the last question of yours. Swamiji, can a normal person forego bhakti marga and still persist on a spiritual path? What a strange question. She is asking, can a normal person forego bhakti marga and still pursue the spiritual path? Kanupriya, please understand, each one is very unique. If you are a head-oriented person, meaning a jnana-oriented person, yes, definitely you have to follow the jnana margam only. You can keep bhakti margam, say, let us say 30-40%, and follow jnana margam, say 60-70%. But please understand, you cannot diverse yourself from bhakti, because without devotion or that emotion called as love, no path can be pursued. Swaswarupa anusandhanam bhaktihi, says Adi Shankara. Meaning, even to pursue your own self, Atma the self, you need the devotion towards the self. Please understand. See, we should not think a devotion is just some sort of emotional outpouring. It is not that. Swami Chinmayanji says, the bhakti and jnana are the two wings of the bird to fly high in the sky. So therefore, you can predominantly pursue the jnana marga if you are a jnana-oriented person. For that, you cannot diverse yourself completely from bhakti. In fact, remembering the Lord, taking His name, and thinking about His glories is very wonderful. It melts your heart and it will help you to evolve spiritually very quickly. So therefore, I tell you, ultimately, holding on to the feet of the Lord alone can help us. Nothing can help. தனக்கோமை இல்லாதான் தாழ் சேர்ந்தார்க்கு அல்லால் மனக்கவலை மாற்றல் அரிது, says Saint Thiruvalluvar. So therefore, We have to hold on to the feet of the Lord. And then we can follow the path of Vedanta and inquire within, who am I, and evolve spiritually. Therefore, please never ever think to diverse the bhakti from jnana. In fact, both are complementary, not contradictory. Take care. Hari Om Tat Sat.